So the NBA had a problem. The FBI just arrested around 30 people for gambling related crimes. Now I know what you're thinking. Why the FBI involved? It's just some little gambling stuff. Well, it ain't just some little gambling stuff. Lock in. You see, the thing is there were two major investigations the FBI was conducting. One involving a head coach allegedly working with the mafia and another involving a player basically taking bets on himself. The FBI said, ooh, those are bad. So we're just going to make it one big investigation. So I said, we're just going to combine the two cases and call it the NBA gambling investigation. So they can start sharing resources and information about the two cases. And plus FBI investigates NBA for gambling just looks better on a headline. So the NBA comes out heated. They say, FBI, y'all can't call it the NBA gambling investigation. They don't think we all just out here gambling. Meanwhile, it's only like just one player, like just one coach, like just 28 other people. Y'all doing too much. The FBI said, first of all, you ain't nobody daddy. Watch your tone. Second of all, wait till the TikToker/YouTuber get to explain it and we're going to see if you're still out here running your mouth at the end of the video. And so let's talk about how bad these crimes really are, starting with the player that bet on himself. See, his name is Terry Rozier and he had a problem. The IRS comes to his crib. They said, look, you owe us about $8 million in taxes for your house, big bro. He said, $8 million what? They said, boy, don't act like you ain't know you was paying taxes. Stop playing. He said, you got me there. So he hits up his boy. He says, yo, I owe them guys $8 million. His boy said, the mafia? Terry said, even worse, the government. His boy said, ooh, that's bad. What you finna do? Terry said, I'm gonna see what them parlays hitting for. You see, this was Terry's plan. See, when you make a sports bets, there's these things called overs and unders. Basically, if you bet, is a player gonna score over 5 points or under 5 points? If you guess right, if you guess over, then you get some money. So Terry's plan was to have his friend bet that he was going to score under a set amount of points. And he knows how many points he's going to score in the game. Terry does. And that's what makes this so illegal. And it's why the government takes players betting on themselves so seriously, because now it's not gambling. It's basically scamming. So Terry tells his boy, and this is all alleged, technically, he tells him, look, on these games, I'm going to be injured. His boy said, damn, Terry, you okay? Terry said, I'm not really going to be injured, fool. You going to bet that I'm going to score a low amount of points, but I'm gonna walk out the game. His boy said, oh, okay, you smart, Terry. So Terry hops in a game. And by the way, Terry could hoop. So Terry said, ooh, hit him with the cross. Ooh, lock in, Terry. He said, my leg. The coach said, damn, Terry, you ran like 7 miles in practice. Terry said, you gonna call me a liar? And that was the biggest problem the NBA had. It was the NBA commissioner's argument. He said, we can't just sit up here and call a player a liar. I gotta take his word for it. The FBI said, wait till the story over before you get to yapping. So through allegedly faking injuries, Terry makes around $200,000. But the thing is, when bets start looking too weird, the police automatically get flagged. So the FBI hits up Terry. They said, how your leg doing, Terry? Terry said, no, it's good. I'm all right. The FBI said, Now, at this point, I assume the FBI hit up Terry's friend, the one who allegedly made the bets for Terry, because the FBI seems very sure that Terry did this, so they must have got their information from somewhere. So the FBI then goes to the NBA. They said, you heard about Terry? The NBA said, yes, but we're doing our own investigation. No big deal. The NBA does an investigation. They come up with nothing. The FBI says, oh, is that so? Now, at the same time, remember, there's another investigation going on with a head coach named Chauncey Billups. See, Chauncey was playing poker, high stakes poker for millions of dollars. Now, the thing is, these poker games were allegedly rigged by the mafia. They had like x-ray tables, contact lenses with like cameras in them, high stakes poker, high stakes scamming. And apparently Chauncey was the face card of the operation. He would basically invite other really rich players over. Because he was so trusted and such a big name, people around the table wouldn't think they're being scammed. Whole time Chauncey went in hand after hand, he getting bread. Other players said, damn, Chauncey, you be winning a lot, huh? Chauncey said, huh? Oh, I guess it's just my lucky day. Now, the feds haven't revealed how much Chauncey was involved, but they say he was involved and he got a cut. And here's where things start to get wicked. Since the FBI decided to take these two investigations, make them into one big investigation and reveal it together, it seemed really bad. So Congress hits up the commissioner of the NBA and says, what the hell is going on? The NBA commissioner said, I'm about to explain in a press conference. So the NBA commissioner holds a press conference. He said, look, first of all, Chauncey was involved with the mafia. How are we supposed to know that? You think we got James Bond on the roster? Stop playing with me. FBI said, tell him about Terry Rozier. The NBA said, we was finna get to that. We asked him if he was gambling. He said, no. You think we psychic? I should have called Raven Simone in there. Who you think we got on the roster? The FBI comes out and says, first of all, Raven wasn't that type of psychic. No wonder your investigation failed. Second of all, if we didn't do an investigation, listen closely, then these things would have continued happening. What's going to prevent this type of stuff from happening in the future? The NBA commissioner said, Congress said, you can answer all those questions in front of Congress. So the commissioner of the NBA has officially been called in front of Congress to explain what they're going to do about sports betting in the NBA in the future. And Terry and Chauncey were suspended from the NBA without pay while the investigation continues.